wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Wanda Afrilia Garini from class 4C, Department of English Education, Syarif Hidayatullah State Islamic University of Jakarta with student ID 063. I made this video to fulfill an assignment from Miss Nida Husna in the extensive reading course. I want to tell you about the textbook I have read entitled The Sociology book by Sarah Tomley, which was released in 2015 with 352 pages. This book is published by DK and this type of book is a reference book. Before I tell the contents of these textbooks, I want to tell you the title of each chapter first. This textbook consists of 6 chapters. Chapter 1 is Foundation of Sociology. Chapter 2 is Values and Norms in Society. Chapter 3 is Social Interaction Process. Chapter 4 is Socialization and Personality Formation. Chapter 5 is Social Deviation. And the last is Chapter 6 is Application of Sociology and Social Roles. Now, I will tell you what the contents are briefly or a summary from the beginning to the end of the chapter. The first is Chapter 1, Foundation of Sociology. This chapter tells about the basic of sociology, such as the understanding of sociology according to experts, the object of sociology, the orientation of sociology, the characteristics and nature of sociology. The definition of sociology is the study of the relationship between humans and groups. Sociological objects are divided into 2, namely material objects and formal objects, while the characteristics of sociology include empirical, theoretical, cumulative, and non-ethical. In this chapter, the essence of sociology as a science is that sociology is an abstract science and not a concrete knowledge. That is, the concern is the form and patterns of events in society as a whole, not just the events themselves. This chapter also tells about the branches of sociology, approaches, function, goals of sociology, and sociological perspective. It is explained that the branch of sociology is divided into 2, general sociology and special sociology. The sociological approach is comparative and holistic, while the sociological perspective is divided into interactionist, evolutionist, functionalist, and conflict. Let's move to Chapter 2, Values and Norms in Society. This chapter tells about social values and social norms. Social value is everything related to good and bad things. Social value is an abstract concept inspired by the whole society that is useful for life and upheld. The level of social value can be measured by the size of the usability and function that can be felt by the community. This value is lasting and difficult to replace with other values because it is obtained through a long and deep socialization process and is passed down from generation to generation. Every human being needs certain values because social values have various functions. The function of social values is as a guide, a source of motivation, and a fortress of protection. This chapter also talks about social norms. Social norms are habits, behavior, or customs that apply in society. Social norms contain rules and instructions regarding the way of life, about right or wrong, good or bad, appropriate or inappropriate, and must be obeyed by all members of society. If the norm is violated, the perpetrator will be punished. The norm has binding power and citizens must comply. The function of social norms is to regulate life together so that it's orderly and, for example, legal norms, religious norms, customary norms, and so on. Next, Chapter 3, Social Interaction Process. This chapter tells about the process of social interaction as the basic for developing regular patterns and dynamics of life. Interaction has the meaning of reciprocal action between individuals or between groups. So, the notion of social interaction, namely the dynamic reciprocal relationship between individuals and individuals, between individuals and groups, or between groups and groups in cooperation, competition, or conflict. And this chapter also explains what the characteristics of the interaction are. One of them is reciprocal, positive, and sustainable. Explain the purpose and basics of social interaction. The ongoing interaction is based on the factors of imitation, suggestion, identification, and sympathy. These factors can act separately or in combination. There are several forms of social interaction, including cooperation, competition, conflict, and accommodation. This chapter also explains how the development of social order from the formation of society and human desires, and the need for social order in people's lives. Then, Chapter 4, Socialization and Personality Formation. This chapter tells that in people's life, the process of socialization or social learning is a lifelong process, starting from birth to death. In the socialization process, each individual gets supervision, recognition, and obstacles from other humans. In addition, individuals also receive guidance, encouragement, stimulation, and motivation from other humans. In the socialization process, individuals are always guided by the values and social norms that apply around them and are creative toward the influence of society and other individuals. This chapter also tells that culture cannot be separated from individual personality through a long learning process. In the learning process called socialization, the individual's personality must also have an influence on the development of the culture as a whole. Human ideas, behavior, or action are organized, controlled, and stabilized by various value systems and norms in society. Now, Chapter 5, Social Deviation. This chapter tells about the occurrence of deviant behavior and antisocial attitude. The definition of deviant behavior is all action that deviate from the norms that apply in a social system and lead to efforts from those in authority in that system to correct the behavior. This chapter also mentions the characteristic of deviant behavior and antisocial attitude. Its characteristics include acceptable deviations, can also be rejected, and social deviation are adaptive. The type and forms of deviant behavior are also explained. The types include primary and secondary deviation, individual and group deviation, drug abuse, student fights, sexual behavior outside of marriage are all forms of deviant behavior. Deviant behavior of a person or group due to the imperfect socialization process and will result in collisions resulting in irregular social groups. Disorganized social groups are divided into two groups, namely the crowd and the public. And the last chapter is Chapter 6, Application of Sociology and Social Rules. This chapter tells about the application of knowledge of sociology that includes social science, including knowledge of geography, history, and economics. In the application of social knowledge in people's life, it is designed to develop knowledge, understanding, and analytical skills on the social condition of the community in entering a dynamic social life. Social control is the supervision by the community of the running of the government, especially the government and its officials. Social control aims to achieve harmony between stability and change in society, or aims to achieve a state of peace through harmony between certainty and justice. By its nature, social control can be preventive or repressive, or even both. Social institutions are a system of norms that regulate all humans' action to fulfill their basic needs in social life. In my opinion, the reference book, the Sociology book by Tomley, is intended for all people, both students, workers, scientists, and others. This book is very suitable for both students or scientists because this book explains all about the world of sociology. Not only general lessons, but this book explains in detail down to the roots of sociology. It would be even better if this book is used as a reference for students majoring in social studies who are doing their thesis, and scientists who are conducting research and makers of articles or journals. This book is very suitable for them because there are so many theories and explanations that can be used as a reference. After read the reference book, the Sociology book by Tomley, I became more aware of the world of sociology. Not only general lessons, but I learned to the details. Because I personally, when studied in high school, I never studied sociology in detail. Because at that time, I chose the science major where I learned more about arithmetic and learn about science than social studies and sociology. Therefore, from this book, I have come to know the basics of sociology, such as the understanding of sociology according to experts, the object of sociology, the orientation of sociology, the characteristics and nature of sociology, social values, social norms, process of social interaction, and many more. After read this book, I also learned to become a better person when I am in social environment. One example is changing my attitude to be wiser when I am faced with many people. In my opinion, the weakness of this book is more critical of all that is good in society: marriage, family, religion, government, work, and commitment. Every couple page, there were men dressed in drag, sensual picture, and nudity. Karl Marx quotes. This book actually not good for students under the age of 13 because there are sensual pictures. And this book contains an overt bias against society. But overall, it's good for researchers who need a reference. I think it's enough for me to tell the content of reference book by Tomley. I hope that those of you who watch my video from beginning to end can take lessons from this video. Thank you and goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.